What is up, YouTubers? We are back with another episode of Our 60 Journey. My name is Lucas, and I'm here to help us build healthy relationships. So, I have been talking a lot about the preparation for 2020, and I'm deeply into astrology, and I'm going to say this again. When Mercury transited the Sun like a week or two ago, there was this huge, massive, gigantic shift in communication. And I do my absolute best because, psychologically, what we prepare for and believe in obviously comes into us and it becomes real. But as I'm aware of all these patterns, both in numerology and astrology and, angelic realm themes, I witness the outside world, which again, psychologically, if I'm looking for, I'm going to find it, right? If you're looking for a yellow car on the highway, you're going to find it. But in general, there really has been a communication reset. Boundaries have become a theme. And as I've been taking on more psychic calls again, because I took quite a break from psychic calls. That's happened several times this year where I'm just like, I don't want to take any psychic calls. I'm tired. But as I've even been taking psychic calls over this last week, all of my calls, like 9 out of 10 of them are calling in and they're having a boundary issue. Usually with someone setting a clear and specific boundary or intention or expectation, and the other person going, I ain't doing that, so I don't know. And so anyway, I'm praying this morning, and I'm preparing myself for the psychic calls. I'm about to go back into psychic calls again. And I'm like, what's the message for the day? Where's the energy going? What's flowing? And I draw a card. You know how I love my Sacred Geometry Activation Oracle. And the card of integration shows up. And this card is so strong because it's talking about embracing every aspect of ourselves and allowing what we perceive as positive and what we perceive as negative to harmonize and balance in a symphonic way. And there's so much energy right now with divine masculine and divine feminine merging because, and again, connecting this out to the outside world for a second, Frozen 2 just came out. And Rise of Skywalker is coming out, and I haven't seen Rise of Skywalker yet, but there's already been a huge theme building about how the dark force and the light force are actually one. And the biggest issue that was happening in Star Wars Episode 7 and 8 was that Rey, this untrained Jedi basically, is learning about the force from Luke, and in the middle of her very first training session, she's like, I feel balance, I feel this, I feel positive. All of a sudden she goes, but there's something else, something dark. And Luke's like, well, there's equal light and equal darkness. This is normal. And she goes, it's calling for me. And she gets sucked down into the dark, comes back out, she teleports basically, and Luke flips his biscuits, okay? He flips his biscuits because he's like, what the hell? How do I manage this? She's trying to go to the dark already. And here's my thing. The middle path, the way of the Buddha, the way of Christ, the middle road, it doesn't have light or darkness. It's really, because think about if you physically have a side of light and a side of darkness, and you were walking the middle path, then light and darkness would be equal inside your body, right? Divine masculine, divine feminine would be equal inside your body. And that theme right now of embracing an entire aspect of who we are as individuals is embracing the divine and the masculine together. So let's go back to the card. So this card is about embracing and holding a sense of self in relationship to who you are as a woman, who you are as a man, and how those two energies are acting together, how you are the junction point for the source energy of light and darkness. And again, anytime that these cards have that deep blue color, it's talking about how vast the universe and in essence you are. And then when you see these yellows and golds, it's talking about an inner spring of well-being and focusing on your inner power and expressing yourself through a self-belief of your own confidence in what it is you are. The red that goes inside this card is about the physical plane. It's everything inside the form-based reality you live in. And then it's also talking about the swirling energy of all the dimensions merging together and how we are supposed to support and integrate our own journey of our unique dualistic nature and come to a plate of completion, of union, of being both within and without, and how everything is inside of ourselves and that everything around us, including all the people, are somehow an aspect of who we are, whether it be our masculine or feminine nature. And it's calling out to us saying, take a breath, find equilibrium. Now, the meditation for this card asks us, how do we integrate our inner world with our outer world? How do we reflect the harmony of giving love equally to all people and to ourselves? It's asking us, do we spend time contemplating daily and exploring what we can do to connect our thoughts and emotions with our inner masculine and inner divine feminine? And so as I'm moving forward, guys, and trying to help everyone prepare for this 2020 revolution, there's a revolution happening. Like I can feel it because I'm getting chills all the way into my feet. There's this energy right now that 2019 tore everything down. Everything was torn down when it comes to relationships in 2019. So many relationships have been tested. In my own personal life, I felt tested with my parents. I felt tested with my friends. I felt tested with my students. OMG, my students. Like, who am I as a teacher? How do I communicate? How can I embody a sense of being nurturing and helping them grow and understanding and having compassion? But how can I also guide them and go, no, you are going this way and you will not do that. And here are the rules, here are the expectations, right? We have feminine circle energy and masculine square energy. How do we merge these together? You know, I'm seeing a picture right now of Da Vinci's, it's like a man like holding his arms out and he has like 1 foot forward, 1 foot sideways, like stepping into the future, and it has a circle and a square around him. And it's because gender, sex, like it's contrived by society, right? Oh, well, because this human has a penis, therefore he must be the asserter. He must be the one in charge. He must be the one taking control and giving the control, right? He's the one that's pushing something. And because this human has a vagina, she's supposed to be receptive and to submit and to take. What? Whoa, that ain't a thing. And so the idea of gender being contrived in society, I think that we really are moving past it. I think that's why the transgendered, which I could make a whole video on transgenderism and how it's been affecting our society. And I'm not even fully grounded in that movement yet. I'm not sure. I don't think anyone really knows what that movement is about and what that movement brings forth into our society. But my message for you now as I round up this video is that as you walk into 2020 and as you're releasing 2019, in the perspective of relationships, it is so important that you are analyzing and integrating all parts of both divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of yourself. You know, if you're a super macho guy or you're a super sensitive guy, like, let it go. Okay? If you're the overly controlling super feminist woman or the super laid back submissive woman who does whatever she's told, let it go. Because that energy, that extremism, that polarity, it doesn't have a place in the future. It doesn't. And I know that that's a lot to take and a lot to hear, but it really doesn't have a place in our society. It doesn't. Like, our society right now seems to be built on these polarities, but I promise you, as we move into 2020 and beyond, like, oh God, by 2024, I can't even. By 2024, not this coming election, but the next election, I promise you, all boundaries, all rules, all expectations of society's labeling for everyone, it will be gone. There will be some people holding on and trying to rebel and hold on to traditional conservative values, but that energy is about to be thrown out of the water because we are becoming too aware. We are too aware now to hold on to those values, because as we evolve through our consciousness into a higher state of evolution within ourselves, not just as individuals, but on a collective level, we're realizing that there are no gender rules. There aren't any. And I mean, even just this last year, I've really seen some intense, like, bubbling up of thoughts when it comes to gender roles that I didn't even know I had in me. I was watching a show the other day, and this woman was leading. It was like literally a group of 20 men in a circle with a woman in the middle, and she was giving out orders, and I could hear a voice in my head going, why are they all taking directions from a woman? And all of a sudden I was like, who said that? Like, what? I am not sexist. Like, I was like, that energy needs to go. And so I could feel where it was inside of me. That's the thing, guys. You can feel it. I could feel where it was inside of me, and I was like, okay, I'm going to surround this in light. And I breathed it in, and I surrounded that energy, that thought, that pattern, that vibration in light, and then I exhaled that bubble out. Because there's, more chills. Because there's no place for it. And so when it comes to relationships, you don't need to be the woman. You don't need to be the man. Okay, don't make one of those stupid, bigoted comments of, so who wears the pants in your relationship? It's one of the most insulting questions you can ask a gay couple is who wears the pants. It's like, huh? The pants? Well, we both wear pants. It's like, do you mean like who's the giver and who's the receiver during sex? Like, is that any of your business? Like, and who's not to say we don't take turns? You know, who's not to say that in heterosexual relationships there aren't men that like to be the receiver from the women? Because that's a thing. I've talked to people over the phone and friends in real life that are heterosexuals that date men that are comfortable enough to be the receiver. Right? Just because you like to receive pleasure doesn't mean you're homosexual. I'm getting a little snarky, please forgive me. But I'm just like, sometimes, like, as I close the video out, sometimes the only way to get into someone's consciousness is to lower, that sounds rude, is to move your awareness of how you communicate into the same dimension as them. And I'll be honest, sometimes being snarky is the only way to get the energy across. Like, you gotta go, really? Are you that dumb? Because you sound like someone from the 1940s and you sound a little bit stupid. Like, and I know that's like, so there's someone who, well, that's not loving. It's not loving to communicate that way. Okay, so the frequency of love and enlightenment, like there's like a 0 to 1,000. It's up here like 700 and beyond, like megahertz or something. And if someone's on 200 megahertz, they're a second grader, okay, who all they know is the word good. And you use a really, really high level word, they're going to do this. So sometimes the only way to get inside someone's awareness is to move, not lower, to move your awareness to their dimension and then communicate to them in words they understand and energies they understand. You know, I remember, I keep going on these little tangents. I remember one time I was trying to do a front walkover. It's a skill in gymnastics. And I'm going and going, being really frustrated, going, what the hell, I can't do this. And someone, friend, name's Renee, says to me, yeah, you're just not going to be able to do that. Like, your back isn't flexible, you're not going to be able to do a front walkover, like, it ain't going to work. Say what? 3 minutes later, I was doing it because she moved her awareness to my consciousness and then talked down to me and was going, you're a loser, you're never going to do this. And she did it, I believe, whether she is consciously or not, subconsciously, deliberately, so that I would then change my mindset, that energy of being told I can't, would be turned into I can. All right, well, welcome everybody to 2020. It is here. Again, my name is Lucas, and I'm so glad I can help you guys and myself reach a higher sense of awareness for what relationships really are. God bless.